Hi everyone, Nigel here again. Another review, new little things just arrived in the post today for me. This is the Brengun photo etch set for the Valkyrie BRL 72126. It's for the AMT and the Italeri kit, being they're both exactly the same. It's a nice little set. It's very small compared to the likes of Edard and stuff, but there's a lot in there. I have had a very quick look and then put it back in the bag so you can see how it's packaged. Unfortunately, these glossy bags make life very difficult for filming. So anyway, yeah, so there it is. Let's have a quick look at the instructions. Oh, sorry, I got this from Model Hobbies in the UK, available over eBay. It's around about £20, £19, something like that in the UK. Also available from Hannants or whatever. So having a quick look at the instructions. Basically like an A5 double-sided sheet. Very simple in their construction. They give you a legend here telling you basically this symbol's bend, symmetrical assembly, so that means like, do the same on both sides. Remove, generally that's recording, relating to removing plastic. Optional, so you make your mind up whether you want to use it or not. Replace is your decision. Sometimes it's not necessary in other people's opinions. Replace means replace the plastic part. So, sometimes you might get like an instrument panel in a cockpit. They've got a better instrument panel in the photo etch set, but you may decide to keep it for your spare spots because the cockpit instrument panel is never going to be seen inside the model anyway. For examples like radio gear in an Avro Lancaster, no one's ever going to see it. You may as well keep it for your spares box and put it in something where it is more visible. Reduce, that means basically file it down, and that's telling you the X, Y is in a square box is the kit part. So yeah, so like for example, the kit part here is number 10 because it's in a square box. Here the kit part number 14. So yeah, that's how that goes. So we start off with the exhaust area. I'm not going to put the upper wing in the shot, but this is basically the exhaust area they're showing you here, and you can see you've got an inner diameter and an outer diameter, and you make up these two rings here, which go inside and add some detail to those quite plain areas. That's going to look lovely, painted matte black with a bit of dry brushing in your favourite colour. I don't know if these were that lovely corroded copper greeny colour, or I don't know. Check out your references. We've got some ribbing along the back here. This piece here will be very visible. This actually sits along the rearmost edge of the wing surface, so that'll be very visible, and that's going to add some lovely detail to a part that really needs it, because in the kit it's just a flat piece of plastic. I said I wasn't going to do it, but here you go. This is the main wing section. If I can get it in, you'll see along here this is all just flat, just a flat edge, and that photo etch is going to add some nice detail to that. We've then got these pieces here, these little sections which go inside into these ribs. Not going to be very visible, but it'll add some lovely detail. And then you've got these uprights with the upright piece there and the angled piece there that are going to go in and cover those. Remember those box pieces that I was spending so much trouble trying to get to realign and end up narrowing the whole wing section. Look back here, I think it's section 5 or 4 where I showed that. Moving on to the front undercarriage bay. This is some much needed detail in a very simple area of the kit. We've got some bulkheads here, a little piece of detail there, some stiffening ribs. Here going on the side, they're telling you to remove the thick plastic moulded sections here, which is a good thing. Always good to remove thick plastic moulded sections. Front undercarriage leg, some wheel detail. Where are they? Here's the nose wheel. Here you can see, where is it? You can see how the tyre's flat spotted, which is nice. But there's not a lot of detail in that wheel at all, and they're giving you like a bolted ring or whatever to go in there. Well, so they did notice, which is very strange, they've got this huge ridge around the edge of these tyres. They're obviously in halves, they go together, but so that's going to need to be sanded off. There are some resin aftermarket wheels available from a company called Armory. They look very nice, may well be getting them for this kit. Then we've got some more detail here, as you can see. We've got the some kind of spoiler, and then an undercarriage door in there, and then another undercarriage door there. See here it's telling you to remove that part of the undercarriage leg, and then you've got these little brackets that hold everything together. So all very nice. We've got like a honeycomb wall here to go on the air intake. Here's the air intake there. You can see that's sort of fairly devoid of any detail at all. I catch that in the light. And this is going to basically replace that area. And then we've got these stiffening ribs here which go inside the engine exhaust bay here. This is going to be very visible as well. This is the way up, and this is the part that actually goes around the exhaust here. So nice little addition. Also be worth thinning out that back edge there. I think it's I don't think it's to scale. Over the page onto the main undercarriage gear. Here we can see we've got the main undercarriage gear. We've got all the detail. If you watch the YouTube videos, which there are plenty of, showing how complicated the undercarriage was, you'll see all this. And there's a lot of plumbing and bracketry and stuff. And on both ends, Brengun have given you this to, you know, to bring all that to life. And I think this undercarriage gear with all this on is going to look astounding. I don't think you need the metal undercarriage gear for this kit. The plastic stuff is very, very stout due to its sheer size. And again, you see removing a simple plastic bracket to replace it with a piece of PE, and then some tiny little brackets that are going to hold on a door. You've also got some other bits and pieces there which are going to go on, and they are going to be, oh, they're going on the top of the door there. And then last but not least, we've got some vents which go along the top of the, and some panels which go along the top of the upper wing. This is just half of it shown. And then we've got some vents here which go along the fuselage. I'll show you those quickly. Remember, here are the vents on the back of the top upper wing surface which are replaced. And then, I don't know if I'm going to get it in the light here, but there are some, you can just see it there. Where are we? Here, you can just see there's some marked out squares for these bits here. Now, be very careful because I measured all this up when I was measuring the wing, and these markings here are not symmetrical, so be very careful of that. And then also on the fuselage, still working on this joint, you can see here we've got this vent here and this bit here. There's the vent, and then there's the cutout area there that the photo etch here is going into. One bit of advice from my years of knowledge: if you file that off like they're saying to do here, when you come to glue this duct on, you're only going to have these three edges to glue, very, very thin edges. My suggestion would be to cut this back halfway, make sure that the actual width is okay, so you've actually got some surface area there to glue the photo etch to. So the actual main part of the holding will be done on this area here, which is still raised, and then these side areas here will just be stuck down just to sort of make it look good and keep it in place. You could also scribe some grooves in here to get you the little bit of location, which is I often do with when you've got photo etch brass going edge on. Again, you've got the same on this side. So that's the instructions. Okay guys, here we go. I've got the parts out of the main bag now, but as you can see, there's 4 sprues, or 4 frets should I say, and the 3 of the frets come in their own individual little bags, which is nice because it means they're protected from each other and they don't rub each other and rip each other off the frets and bend themselves and stuff. So that's quite a nice touch. There's also a piece of black card in there which I'm going to use to show these frets off. So this is the first fret I'm going to show. I'm not sure if the frets are numbered 1, 2 or 3 or whatever, but here we go. I'm going to try my best to do this without the light reflecting off it all the time, without you getting horrible reflections of me either. So here we can see on this one we've got the parts that go inside the engine exhausts. So these are like they're not afterburner rings. I think they're just the inside detail to show the petals or the stiffening or whatever. These are parts for the ribs, I believe. These are the uprights, the parts that I moved all the wing around to make them fit. And then we've also got these panels here, which are access panels which go over each engine. Access panels for checking, I don't know. I'll have to do more research. I keep saying that, don't I? Here's a bulkhead for the front undercarriage bay, and then some little greeblies for undercarriage and stuff. These are some of those rings that go on the wheels. Let's see if we can get this to focus here. These are the rings for the wheels, which I can't find the pen, which give you detail for the wheels. There's some little infill pieces for the inside of the front undercarriage bay, and that's a bracket or something for the undercarriage bay. So that's the first fret. Next one we come across is Menial Panels. Oops. So here we've got the these are those, like I said, those 6 or 5 vertical walls between the nozzles. These are those parts there. Obviously there's 10 of those because you've got one on each side. Not sure what these parts are for, but they're obviously probably part of the undercarriage. This is the vents for the fuselage by the look of it. Some little tiny pieces for the undercarriage. These are the 2 side vents for the fuselage. These are the vents for the rear wing on the top of the wing. But all yeah, I'm not sure how thick this brass is. It's certainly very thin. Let's have a look. Yeah, 6 thou, 0.15 thick. So it's as you can see, it's very, very thin. Very nice to scale as well. Put it on here. So as you can see, this is the inner wheel detail. The kit gives you, where is it? This. That's what you get on the kit for the inner wheel detail. So the addition of these will make a nice change, nice addition to the kit. There should be, yeah, there's only 7 there. There should be another one there. It is there in the centre. More undercarriage doors here. By the look of it, these are those intake panels, the waffle panels, which are nice. They're going to look great with a wash on them, and fairly visible on the finished kit too. I'm assuming this is part of an undercarriage bay. That's one of the front undercarriage doors. Undercarriage door again here. That's also undercarriage door. I think these are access panels that go over the back of the engine. I think, or they might be part of the rear undercarriage. That's more vents. So yeah, the detail on the undercarriage doors is very, very nice, and the rivet detail, as you can see there, it's lovely. It's going to look great. Certainly a lot better than the plastic kit parts. There's no doubt about that. Sometimes people look at these photo etch sets and think, is it really worth it because the kit was good enough? You ain't going to find that in this case. I don't think there's anything on this kit that's good enough. There's another one of those uprights. Oh no, this is the sorry, we're talking about, this is the ribbing for around the inside of the it's the underside where the exhaust, you know, in here, what I was talking about, this here, that's what this is for, these parts here. Rings for the wheels. This is that part that goes around the back of the fuselage, across the back, that part that the hole's in. And there's the more wheel detail there. There's a lovely vent panel, that's nice. Some panelling there with some wiring, cabling detail, more vents. Very nice. Very, very nice indeed. So yeah, there we have it. So yeah, very, very difficult to film in this with the light and everything. Whatever you do, you've got a reflection of your face, a reflection of the camera. Look, there's the camera, there's the light. So in between, you get, there's the sweet spot. But as soon as you start moving it around, you're lost it again. So yeah, very difficult. Very, very shiny brass. Very, very flexible. But beautifully etched. No missed parts or anything. Lovely. So I forgot to talk about that bit there. Like there's here there's a, looks like some actuators with piping coming off of them. You wouldn't really get away with that in any other scale. If you want to make this more realistic, put some varnish on the pipes, and the varnish will sort of 2 or 3 coats, and it'll, you know, something like X22, and it'll round it off. It'll give it a more round appearance rather than just flat. But the 72nd scale, no one's really going to notice, I don't think. So there you go. That's the Brengun BRL 72126 Valkyrie photo etch update set. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.